Chili DeCastro rages against the man and Elon Musk. Says the one post admonishment by Twitter proved that freedom of speech is dead. Declares war on Musk, Kash Patel, and others. The angry vet revives his haircutting campaign again. Sees no new donations on the first day of his campaign. Will he raise the $10,000 he says he needs to justify a Locks of Love donation? Plus, with a murky future, what is the way forward for Chili DeCastro? We'll look at the fall of his empire due to his own stupidity. I'm your humble newsreader, Pants. You're not wearing any socks, and we're about to experience auditing insanity. DeCastro attacks Kash Patel, Elon Musk, on Twitter. YouTube users, please click the text link in the description below to access documents related to lawsuits mentioned in this article. Portions of the Twitter messages have been edited to comply with YouTube community guidelines. The unedited messages can be accessed, again, by clicking the text link in the description below. It was a dramatic Friday for Jose Chili DeCastro, as he apparently gained another small victory in his lawsuit against the Los Angeles Metropolitan Police Force, had a semi-coherent excuse in his lawsuit against Michael Blue Bacon Peratini, finally came through for Craig Henry, and went on a complete rampage against Twitter. Starting out of order, DeCastro apparently received a Twitter community guidelines warning for posting a message to FBI Director Kash Patel and Harris County, Texas Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, stating, "If only 1,000 more would follow suit, we'd have a safer, better country. See, the policies, procedures, and policies that pigs do is inhumane, brutal, and barbaric. As long as there's these policies, more cops will themselves, and I hope they burn in hell." He reposted the message on his YouTube community page, decrying Twitter's policies with a new message of outrage directed at Elon Musk. "All them pigs in Houston themselves. Can you even imagine what they did to people for them to want to end themselves? My Twitter account is decimated. Elon Musk is a fraud. Hashtag free speech my ass." DeCastro has been on an anti-police, anti-Donald Trump rampage on Twitter for days now, and has most recently focused on Sheriff Gonzalez after the reply to Gonzalez was limited. The YouTuber later kept up his complaint with a new message directed at Gonzalez. "She's already a pig. Amazing. My posts are limited because I told Sheriff Ed that his deputies themselves for what they have done to people. Aw, here's a perfect little pigtail for you, Sheriff." He then apparently finished his attack with a now pinned comment attacking both Elon Musk and Sheriff Gonzalez. "If the pigs complain, thank you at Elon Musk, and you at Sheriff Ed, brown shirt. Wah. He said he hopes we all off ourselves. The world would be better off if you were not in it, Sheriff P.O.S. scumbag. DeCastro's rampage continued, despite achieving a rare victory against the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department on Thursday, as Judge Andrew P. Gordon refused to grant the LVMPD's renewed request for a summary judgment in DeCastro's long-running federal civil rights lawsuit. DeCastro sued the LVMPD after being arrested in March of 2023 for charges of obstructing an officer and interfering in a traffic stop. DeCastro was convicted of the charges in 2024 and spent 4 months in jail before the charges were overturned on appeal. DeCastro's extensive list of charges against the LVMPD had been whittled down to just a handful over the years through rulings by Gordon. However, Gordon reversed his decision as to if the LVMPD had probable cause to arrest DeCastro when DeCastro's charges were dismissed in 2024. In the new ruling, Judge Gordon stated he cannot issue a motion for summary judgment if there are major outstanding issues to be resolved. In this case, DeCastro winning his appeal changed the judge's position on probable cause in this incident. With probable cause at issue, DeCastro's claim of an invasion of privacy may now have merit. If the arrest itself was improper, then the subsequent search was improper, and DeCastro's privacy may have been invaded. While denial of summary judgment is not a killing blow for the defense in the case, this is the second time DeCastro's lawsuit has survived a motion for summary judgment. Expect this case to go forward to trial. DeCastro's filings opposing the call by Michael Blue Bacon Peratini's attorney to dismiss DeCastro's California Superior Court-based lawsuit with prejudice are still missing from the Superior Court site. Those documents apparently appeared on the Trellis platform. Screenshots of both DeCastro's reply to Peratini's motion and his declaration in support of his own request to have the case dismissed without prejudice circulated on Friday. In the filings, DeCastro claims that his idea to dismiss the case is not a tactic, but a reset. While he's facing a call for terminating sanctions and a summary judgment hearing that may see his final claims against Peratini denied, DeCastro said that there were two sides to every story, and that he has not had his opportunity to tell his yet. DeCastro claimed that his incarceration last year, wrongly listed in the documents as 2023, put him at a disadvantage in the case, and made the case that now he was a pro se defendant, it would only be fair to stop the current lawsuit, take a pause, and refile it when he's adequately prepared to move forward. He then claimed that despite 2 years of filings and hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in his case, Peratini would not be prejudiced by the dismissal. Arguing further that no adjudication has occurred and Peratini's rights would be preserved. Finally, after several blown deadlines and making a mockery of his friendship with YouTuber Craig Hendry, DeCastro created his much-promised GoFundMe for the YouTuber. We'll have a full update in the GoFundMe report later today. The crowdsourcing campaign brought in a total of $0 for Friday, with no promotion from DeCastro. The market itself joined DeCastro's new campaign with goose eggs across the board, as no new donations were recorded for the fundraisers we follow. Journalism in crisis. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us with keeping the lights on, eating, feeding the cats, and writing news stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up. The URL is on your screen now. As real American and true protector of the First Amendment, Lane Myers has made multiple threats to sue us in recent days. Portions of all donations may also go towards fighting any possible future lawsuits. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our entire videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. The Angry Vet flounders in active day of fundraising. Kevin the Angry Vet Soper's Friday announcement of the revival of his fundraising idea to cut his hair to provide fundraising for the servicemen and citizens of American Rights Society, or SCARS, floundered on the first day of fundraising as it pulled in $0 to his long-running GoFundMe. Soper, accompanied by persons only identified as SCAR's secretary and executive board director, announced on Friday that they had restarted the campaign to cut Soper's hair with new goals and new deadlines. Starting Friday, the trio announced the goal to raise $1,000 by May 9th, 2025, in order to prepare Soper's hair to be cut as a donation to the Locks of Love charity. Locks of Love makes wigs that are donated to children in need. The initial cutting of Soper's hair would remove 2 inches of his 19 inches of hair to remove split ends and other damage if the goal of $1,000 is met in essentially the next 2 weeks. When that goal is met, donations would be taken until August 15th, 2025, to determine how much hair Soper would have to cut. Like previous attempts at the same fundraiser, the organizers are keeping 2 tallies and asking those making donations to specify if they want Soper to cut his hair or to keep his hair, with the 2 sides counterbalancing each other to determine a winner. As Locks of Love has a minimum donation of 10 inches, in order to make a donation on behalf of SCARS under the rules outlined in their announcement, $10,000 must be raised through their GoFundMe campaign, direct deposit, or cash applications by the August 15th deadline. Soper also promised that he would soon be starting further fundraisers for giveaways on his channel on behalf of the SCARS organization. He mentioned on the Friday broadcast an $80,000 custom motorcycle, a car, a dirt bike, and a 4-wheeler as possible future giveaway prizes. It's unclear what Soper or the SCARS organization would be doing to further promote that giveaway. His Friday announcement drew a little under 300 live viewers and no immediate donations to the SCARS GoFundMe campaign. Saturday also saw no interest in the campaign on his GoFundMe page, with no new donations recorded. Soper's failure comes as the market was strangely active on Saturday, recording its best day in a week. Saturday's crowdsourcing title was won by Jose Chili DeCastro's new long-delayed GoFundMe for his best friend Craig Hendry, which took in $245. A random $100 donation to Sean Paul Long Island Audit Reyes's Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign took second place for the day. Craig Hendry's original To Support Craig's Work campaign came in third with a $35 donation. Finally, our own Ongoing Expenses campaign came in fourth with a $20 donation. We will continue to monitor the progress of Soper's campaign as the May deadline quickly approaches. Is bankruptcy in the future for Chili DeCastro? A year ago, Jose Chili DeCastro had just pulled in over $52,000 in donations from his 4 active GoFundMes in under 2 months. But instead of riding high on the wave of support from his fans, he was sitting in the Clark County, Nevada Detention Center, wondering what the hell had happened to his life. In March of 2023, DeCastro was arrested in Nevada for being a little too aggressive during a First Amendment audit of a routine traffic stop. The diminutive DeCastro, describing himself as an alpha male, refused to move out of the way of a Las Vegas Metro cop who was writing a routine random ticket in the parking lot of a strip mall off the strip. When DeCastro refused to move and continued to insult the cop attempted to move DeCastro, resulting in a struggle and an arrest of the height-challenged alpha male. DeCastro claimed to be severely injured, with injuries he previously claimed in other encounters with police, and from a phantom shot to the groin when he was searched. That mysteriously the audio from DeCastro's own recording failed to pick up, let alone the multiple body cams of the incident. DeCastro sued for millions of dollars, and the case has lingered between life and death for the 2 years that have passed, with DeCastro occasionally selling his services to others, going from selling legal documents to ChatGPT advice over the past year, as they too discover they can write a federal civil rights lawsuit at home that will never go anywhere. DeCastro managed to delay his trial for the 2023 charges until March of 2024, while picking up yet another arrest in Las Vegas for being a little too aggressive with cops while blundering through a crime scene. He fundraised off both arrests and was riding high on the new cash from his subscribers in the early part of 2024. At one point, he established not one, but two fundraising efforts to provide a source of cash for all of his friends in the auditing community who might not have his ability to draw large donations. His fans were involved. His fans were happy. His fans had money to keep his operation alive. And then he was convicted of the March 2023 incident. DeCastro's own actions earned him a harsher than normal sentence from Judge Ann Zimmerman. His attitude, his approach to delaying the trial, faking food poisoning at one point to get out of appearing at a hearing, then live streaming for over 4 hours and showing no signs of the explosive diarrhea he'd used as an excuse to avoid said hearing, and his overall assholery got him a surprise 4-month sentence to jail, and DeCastro went away. While his crowdsourcing campaigns briefly flourished in the days that followed his arrest, the case of out of sight, out of mind set in, as the campaigns only received real donations when he'd do his semi-weekly audio addresses from jail. DeCastro apparently became strapped for cash quickly, as the man who made his reputation off selling get-out-of-ticket-free trifolds and being a self-taught constitutional law scholar needed to hire lawyers to get him out of the mess he'd made for himself. He served 3.5 months out of his 4-month sentence before winning an appeal of his March 2023 charges. His February 2024 charges were dropped before going to trial. Both actions allegedly ate up the $50,000 or so he had raised in the year, and his situation was not helped by the fact that he then needed to hire representation in his ongoing lawsuit against Kate Peter, Team Skeptic, Daniel Clement, and Michael Bluebacon Peratini. Upon his release from jail, DeCastro floundered in his fundraising effort, taking days to return to live streaming after claiming PTSD from his time away from the world. His initial live stream return couldn't match the numbers that others put up on his channel when substituting for him, and his opportunity to fundraise was greatly diminished by the huge delay in addressing his fans. While he could have focused on sales of his existing get-out-of-jail-free line of products, a trifold and a cop card, essentially, his reputation was ruined as his own arrests and convictions showed his core audience that his system didn't work. Somewhere in his time in jail, DeCastro came up with an idea to turn things around. A board game, apparently based on the success of the game Trivial Pursuit from the 1980s. The game focuses on teaching his version of the history of the United States Constitution with the intention of selling the game to schools around the country. With no experience producing board games, the process of creating the product that would revolutionize the American learning system has faced major delays. A Thanksgiving 2024 release date is now May 2025, and lackluster pre-sales at best. DeCastro claimed to be so strapped for cash on hand that he could not match funds in his fundraising efforts for Craig Hendry after repeatedly delaying the launch of his GoFundMe campaign. The YouTuber recently relieved his attorney of his duties in his lawsuit involving Peter and Peratini, and then asked for the case to be dismissed without prejudice. In that situation, he's apparently asking to avoid roughly $10,000 in current sanctions and a total loss by asking for a reset of the case that he can refile at a later time. He does have some hope with his ongoing lawsuit against the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, though probably not through a multi-million-dollar settlement. DeCastro's final viable claims, false arrest and illegal search, have survived to attempts at summary judgment by the LVMPD. He may eventually prevail on those charges, but proving damage may be difficult, and the LVMPD, after 2 years of dealing with DeCastro, is unlikely to settle for the millions he's asking for. His threat to sue the state for false imprisonment is likely to go nowhere, as Nevada's state law caps compensation for wrongful imprisonment at $50,000 a year. For serving a little under 4 months, DeCastro can expect a payout capped at $16,667 for his time in jail. His investment in the suit could ultimately cost him more than anything he'd receive in compensation, which would add to his plight rather than bring about his much-desired turnaround. As it stands now, DeCastro is either unwilling or unable to invest in the time it would take to reestablish his YouTube channel and his non-board game product sales. His live streams, while never huge in attendance, were a source of monthly revenue, as his big money investors saw nothing in donating thousands of dollars a month in Super Chat donations. His board game, which he admits to generating with ChatGPT and outsourcing the production to a man in Indonesia, has resulted in a display of catastrophic errors on the hundreds of cards used for the game. DeCastro even acknowledged this, stating that the game was going to ship with errors, as he did not have the time or patience to do quality control. While previously claiming 1,000 pre-sales for the game on his Saturday livestream, DeCastro said, "I got 50 people? I don't know how many people pre-ordered the board game." His own counter on his website indicates that he's sold a total of 5 board games. As it stands now, without a significant investor to bail out his board game project, or his desire to go back to begging or Super Chat money each day to keep him afloat, the future seems bleak for DeCastro. Without a last-minute miracle, and rather than cutting and running, declaring bankruptcy may be his only path forward for his brand in 2025. This is an ongoing news story.